Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is great to have you here today, joining us for the Winter 2023 Study Abroad Advising Fair. My name is Juliana Mesa, and I'm an Intercultural Programs Advisor at CGIS, and I am here with...
I'm Callie Rouse. I am also an Intercultural Programs Advisor at CGIS, and I am the STEM field major. So psychology, BCN, neuroscience, cognitive science, I am your advisor.
Thank you, Callie. So this session focuses on programs targeted to psychology, biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience, or BCN, and similar degrees. That's our title, Your Brain on Study Abroad. So we would like to start by mentioning that we have partnered with all the different departments. So you were talking about being BCN, cognitive science, neuroscience majors. So that is great. This is the place to be. If you register for this session, again, you will be receiving the slideshow and you will be receiving this recording. Oh, I will admit that student. Sorry, we have new students coming in. I would like to highlight that psychology and BCN has a large internal database of courses that students can take for credit while studying abroad. Other departments like cognitive science makes their list of approved courses public facing. So that means that you can access them at any time. So when you get this slideshow, you will be able to check it out. When it comes to the neuroscience department, they prefer to make the determination on a case-to-case basis. So make sure to reach out to your department advisor to learn more about it. And here is an example of what you will find when you want to check if a specific course in a specific program is approved by your department. So the list will look like this. If it says approved, it means that you can take it. And if it's not approved, then it probably won't count towards your major requirements. So have that in mind. It is also important. Oh, yes, Callie.
Oh, quick note on the last slide. That is for the cognitive science major. So other majors may look a little bit different, but this is how cognitive science does it. And also remember, even if something isn't approved necessarily for your major, you can also look into trying to get just general distribution credit if you're an LSA student, which you should be. Or you could also get distribution credit for your courses if they're not approved. So there's other avenues to get credit as well. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Awesome. No, thank you, Callie. I think it's important to mention that to them. So we have the expert here on this program, so it's really good. So it is important also to highlight that you will receive in-residence credits on your transcript, independent of which program you're attending, as long as you're attending it through CGIS. That is, again, one of the many perks that you have to take a program through us. However, we highly encourage students to meet with their department advisors. It is important for them to see the final decision and which courses you will be taking, and also to double check that this will count towards your major and minor requirements. Your general advisor will be the person to ask. So that is your union advisor will be the person to ask if you are looking to get approved distribution course. Before setting an appointment with any of your department or academic advisors, we highly recommend you to narrow down your choices, find the courses and the syllabi to show them so that they don't have to look through a long list of courses, in that way making the best out of your meeting with them. Okay, Callie's answering that question. With that being said, Callie's going to start presenting some of the programs that we have for you.
First, I'm going to chat a little bit about the Study Abroad in Scandinavia, or DIS program. I really love to highlight this program in particular because not only can you get really wonderful courses, done in your major, but the DIS curriculum is really broad. So, if you have something for your major, for your minor, for some distribution, for your humanities or whatever, that you want to get done in all one term abroad, DIS is one of the top things that I recommend. So their locations are in Copenhagen, Denmark, and Stockholm, Sweden. Copenhagen is the first established one, so it is a little bit larger than the offerings are larger than in Stockholm. It's offered throughout the year and has a homestay and also a variety of student accommodations. So there are a total of 3 different accommodations that you can do. The homestay, of course, you stay with a local Danish or Swedish family, and the other ones you'll either stay with local Danish students or Swedish students, and or you can be just with other students on the same program as you. Instruction is in English. And how it works is that you select a core course, which the study tours are based around. So for example, maybe psychology of crisis is your core course. And what you would do is you would have an in-country, so you travel around somewhere for Denmark for a study tour, and then you would have an out-of-country tour. So maybe you would go to the UK for your week-long study tour on that topic. And then everything else that you select, the other like 3 to 4 classes you take, those can be your elective courses. And I just wanted to note the standard deadline is September 15th, along with a lot of other of our programs, but we do have an early deadline on August 15th, which I highly recommend students apply by, because what can be problematic is if classes get full up. It won't be so hard to get in DIS itself, but you can maybe get blocked out of the classes that you want to be in. A couple of courses of interest, and we have linked the course listing so you can look over it. But some of them are artificial neural networks and deep learning, cognitive neuroscience and creativity, cognitive psychology and decision-making labs. So there are some labs that you can do. Ethical brain, philosophy and neuroscience, psychology of crisis, forensic psychology, and research assistant neurometabolism in neurodegenerative diseases. It's a mouthful. So note that you can do lab work and you can do research assistantships, though I think those are pretty limited in how many spots are available, but those are also available for you on this program. Next slide. Next is the Anglo-American University in Prague in the Czech Republic. I'm going to talk about 2 Prague programs actually in the next 2 slides. So these programs, so first off, this one is one that runs through the year, and you're allowed to earn 12 to 15 credits per semester on the program, and you have a shared room apartment accommodation, and you have instruction in English with a Czech language course. So courses are taken at a combination of the CEA Center. CEA is our partner on the ground, and the Anglo-American University. One thing to note though is that CEA classes are a bit more limited, and they only have US classmates on those programs. So it can be a little bit more challenging to get credits fulfilled for your CEA. So maybe good for like humanities and distributions or something like that. However, the AAU coursework is going to be much more broad, and you can have classes with other foreign students as well, not just on CEA program. And some courses of interest are the psychology of decision-making, psychoanalysis of art, philosophy of technology, and philosophical ethics. And on to the next one, which is also located in Prague, though at a different university, is Central European Studies at Charles University. I'm very preferential to this. I studied at Charles when I was a student as well, not through this particular program, but I did study there. It's one of the oldest universities in Europe. And you can earn 16 credits per semester. You have a single room accommodation, and like the other one, you have English language instruction with a Czech language course, which is very helpful because Czech is quite different than English. And there's also a non-credit internship available on the program. And some courses of interest are the psychoanalysis and cultural studies, surveillance in Central and Eastern Europe, social control methods before and after communism. And you would attend classes alongside your peers at UPSIS, as well as some local and foreign peers at Charles. Awesome.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm back. So thank you, Callie, for that. I also want to mention that a few of you just entered the room. So there is a sign-in sheet in the chat. You can use that, and then later on you'll receive this recording, and you will also receive this slideshow. Okay, with that being said, besides provider-led programs, CGS also offers programs through partnerships with universities abroad. There are two options to attend. You can do visiting, which means that you pay, like the big difference between visiting and exchange. With visiting, you pay tuition directly to your host institution. When it is an exchange, when you're an exchange student, you pay tuition directly to UM. So this coming winter, we have university programs available in Australia and Singapore. For Australia, you have the option to be both exchange and visiting student. And also in Singapore, there's plenty of options for psychology and philosophy courses. So that's just so you have in mind. But I also, besides mentioning it in general, I wanted to show you this table to compare all of the three programs that I was talking about. So they all will be taking place, well, there's two different locations. There is Australia and there's Singapore, and two different cities in Australia. So for the terms, they all run through the academic year, both the fall and winter semesters. This time the applications are open for the winter 2023 term, and deadline is September 15th for all of them. I do highly suggest that if you're applying to one of these programs and maybe a different program, make sure that you check the deadlines. As Callie was saying earlier, with one of the programs, the deadline was August 15th. I think it was DIS. And like the preferred deadline, not the final deadline. Yeah, there's also housing availability. The programs in Australia have a variety of options for you. You can stay on and off campus. In the case of the National University of Singapore, you stay in residence hall and you need to request an on-campus accommodation. Even though all of these programs are offered in English and have English courses, you also have the option in Singapore to take Asian language courses if that is of your interest, or if you're doing a minor in one of these languages, that will be a great option. As a sample, we also included some courses that students have taken in the past, ranging from biology and environmental sciences to astronomy and statistics and psychology. So there's plenty of options for all of them. Like, these are universities, so of course they have a lot of course offering. Callie?
Yes, thank you. So in the same vein, we also have European university exchange programs that are available. And again, they varyingly have different options between being a visiting student and an exchange student. The best thing to think about with a visiting versus exchange is if you are an in-state student, exchange is probably going to be the most affordable for you. Whereas if you are an out-of-state student, being a visiting student is going to be most affordable for you. And I just want to do a brief caveat that I'm going to talk pretty generally about these different programs that are available in Ireland and the UK that could be good fits. But just note that there is going to be a UK presentation directly after this at the same link, where you can learn more in depth about the UK programs. And if you want to learn more about Ireland, you can talk to me directly. That's the one that's mine. The other UKs are not. So Ireland, we have the University College Dublin, obviously located in Dublin. The United Kingdom, so we have 3 universities that are all part of the University of London system, which is King's College London, Queen Mary London, and University College London. And then we have the University of St. Andrews in Scotland and the University of Sussex in England. Notable with Queen Mary is that we just pre-approved 4 courses for psychology and BCN through the psychology department. So those ones they represent approved already. You don't have to worry about petitioning those ones. But of course, it doesn't mean the others aren't available as well, but getting a little bit more in depth into them on the next slide. Awesome. So like I said, they're in a variety of different locations and are available Most of them through the year, some of them are winter academic year only. And some of them have a variety of deadlines. So King's College London and University College London have a little bit earlier deadlines. So please make note of that. And generally, you're going to be living on campus or in student residences or residence halls. And they really have a wide variety of coursework. I won't go through all of them down below, but the really nice thing about going to a university is that you're going to get that really in-depth, access to different courses and things like that. The only thing to note, which you can connect with one of our UK advisors about, is if there are any limits on particular classes you can take. So sometimes, students there's like certain caps on like how many psychology students they can accept as foreign students at a particular university. So definitely inquire with them and be like, are there any caps that I want to run into? Is it easier at Queen Mary to get into this program versus, University College London and getting particulars you want to take? And also the nice things about exchanges is, again, like the DIS program, you're able to do more than just your major. You can do things in your minor, you can do distribution, you can just take classes for credit towards your degree. So there's really wide range of coursework available.
Awesome, thanks, Callie. So with all that, we also would like to point out that study abroad could be a great opportunity for you to complete your humanity distribution requirements. So that's also an option in case you say like, well, I want to complete my major requirements or minor requirements here at the university. You can still go abroad. If you prefer taking so if you want to go for this option, there's plenty of places you can go to. You can go to France, you can go to the Netherlands, you can go to Spain, Sweden. So you can select all of this. Again, you will be receiving this presentation, so you will be able to access these links and review the programs. So with that, that concludes the presentation portion of today.
You can feel free to reach out to both Juliana or I with any additional questions. Have a good day.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.